mortality. At some point in life, every single one of us sits down and thinks about that subject. Usually it's because we've had a near-death experience or the tragic loss of someone in our lives. We realize that we truly aren't immortal souls. For me, that day that I really thought about that was June 16th, 2004. I'm a service member in the United States Air Force, Arkansas Air National Guard. On June 16th, 2004, I deployed to Balad Air Base, Iraq. The morning started out just like any other morning. We were in Kuwait City, awaiting transportation up to Iraq. It was hot but not unbearable, but we knew where we were going was a lot worse. It took about 3 hours for us to get transportation that morning, so around noon we boarded a C-130 aircraft and we were on our way into Iraq. We flew to Iraq at about 10,000 feet. It was noticeably hot on the aircraft, no air conditioners, no windows to let down, just hot, very hot. All we could do was look out the windows and see what a desolate, deserted, bland place we were headed to. When we got to Balad Air Base, it was approximately 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Upon arrival, normally the aircraft lands, shuts down engines, and everybody debarks the aircraft and goes on to their final destinations. Not so on this day. When our aircraft landed, the loading ramp on the rear of the aircraft went down, but the engines were still running. I immediately knew that something was different about this landing and how we would disembark this aircraft. 2 loadmasters met us on the aircraft and immediately told us to get up, run out of the back of the aircraft, and head for the building directly in front of us. That would be our shelter point, as the base was currently under attack. While we were running to our shelter, it was very clear what kind of attack was occurring. Across post you could hear mortars landing on the base, the dull thud of an explosion, the concussion from that explosion. You could feel it. At that instant, you realized you are not immortal. You are not Superman. You're not a superhero. You're just as liable to be killed and be gone as anybody else. As we ran to this shelter, I remember thinking about my mortality. I've thought about my family. I thought about my 5-month-old daughter, my wife, and what they would do if I wasn't here. Once we got to our shelter, as we ran through the door, the phones were ringing. And as the people in the building picked up the phones, you could hear the nervousness in their voice. They were taking casualty reports from other portions of the base. Over at the main PX on post, 3 Army soldiers were dead. A rocket had landed directly on the PX and killed those young men. One of those members was waiting to go home back to his family. For me, this was a life-changing moment. For everybody that was on that aircraft with me that day, it was a life-changing moment. That was the day that I'll never forget. I've always, from that point on, thought about my mortality and how it would affect my family if I was not here. I live every day now to the fullest. I appreciate my family more than I ever did before. If you don't have family, you truly don't have anything. They mean more to me than anything else in this world. And fighting for this country means more to me than anything else in this world. So June the 16th of 2004 really was the day that my world changed and my life changed. My attitude about our being and what we're here and our purpose is for.